And we have Mark Penn now, the
right,
great
let's
pollster.
Find out what's going on the other side of the
aisle, for sure. Mark Penn.
The other side.
Is there panic with some of these reports? Now CNN is saying the same thing in New York Times was saying that Biden is telling allies he's weighing whether to continue. The White House says nonsense. But if you look, Mark, at some of these new polls, wow. I was just reading a Wall Street Journal poll that just came out. Trump 48, Biden 42. It's definitely affecting the polls against Biden.
Yep, absolutely. I mean, we came out with a Harris poll the other day between 4 and 7 points, depending upon which candidates are in there. So, more than 70% thought that he's too old to serve another term, and that was up 10%. So there's no question that this has had a significant impact. And I don't, whether he says it or not, they're obviously reviewing whether or not he can stay in the race. And I don't know which way it's going to come out. Nobody does. If I were betting, probably he stays in the race because, politicians, I've worked with many of them. The ones who stick it out usually are more successful. Look at how Trump has stuck everything out. Who thought he'd survive the access tape?
But Mark, you got to admit, and I'll just say this as someone, I covered Washington for a long time. I've been in the White House press room many a time firing questions. It has turned in the starting yesterday, I would say. It sort of started Monday, but yesterday and today, every question was, should he resign? Does he have dementia? What exactly has happened? Are you lying to us now? It seems like, and I'm talking all the media, I'm talking CBS, NBC, ABC. It seems like the media has absolutely turned on this president, and he had the luxury of having, I think, a pretty kind media up until this moment. I've
never seen anything. I can't say that I have ever seen anything like this.
Yeah, Trump every day.
Well, the last time we saw this was with Caesar 2,000 years ago.
Yeah.
All the knives came out.
Yep.
Yeah, no, it's really an incredible turn of events. Look, I always said that this debate, doing it before the convention, was risky. It was risky for the reason that if he lost, because he hadn't formally been nominated, it put his nomination at risk, and that is what's happened here. And I don't know why anyone would have, in their right mind, done something as risky as this before the convention.
Rudy Washington.
Yes, Mark, I've said for the past year that this was more like a stress test. I never saw Biden being the nominee. And I believe what happened, we got to believe there was some dissension in the camp, and this was the compromise. And it was a stress test, and he failed.
Yeah, I'd say big time.
Yeah, and he failed. And we've seen the results, because you're absolutely right. That was too risky. Rank amateurs wouldn't have done this. Put their candidate out before the nomination. In doing so, now it's in jeopardy.
Mark, what's your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, you never really know. Look, somebody, as I said, clearly it was a risk to do this before the convention. It didn't really make sense to do it before the convention, because the convention is your best free message. Why would you kind of do something like this risky? I don't believe that they did it as a let's get him out of the race move or something sneaky or underhanded like that, or undermining people in his own campaign. I think they saw things were trending. Trump was already leading in the polls. He was already leading in the key states. Somebody came up with this brilliant idea that they would mix it up and maybe turn around the momentum.
But Mark,
and obviously it did the opposite.
But Mark, you got to say, there's some smart people there, and they saw we've been seeing for over a year, and they knew this was a problem. And I think this was the agreed upon approach between the camp. Put him out there. Let's see what we have, and if he doesn't make it, then we make our move.
Look, I just it's possible, but I don't have any evidence. It's just speculation. The evidence is
right. I'm with you. I'm reading tea leaves.
Yeah, the timing is interesting to both of your points. Judge Weinberg.
Good to talk to you again, Mark. What I found interesting is the fact that the Democrats wanted to do a virtual vote. What is that all about? That's totally unheard of, to give up the drama of a live vote on a convention floor. They want to run a virtual convention. That shows that they didn't trust their candidate to be able to perform in that kind of arena.
Well, again, people here got too sneaky for their own good. They put the convention date past the deadline for states like Ohio. So they formally need to nominate him in advance of the convention because they thought they would get some advantage here by doing the convention as close as possible to the shoot, what we would call in regular parlance the shoot, and they outsmarted themselves. And now it looks very hokey and phony that they're doing this.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Mark, thank you very much. Boy, unbelievable the last 72 hours, what we have seen in terms of what's been going on in the Democratic Party. We'll see what the governors say after they meet with the president. That's happening in about an hour from now. Mark, great to have you here. Thank you.
Thank you.